So take yourself as somebody that has the capabilities to make a difference, because I'm one person who believes that I can make a difference. And a difference comes with a lot of discipline, with a lot of dedication, with a lot of the fortitude that you must apply in terms of making a difference. So we need to realize as young people that the government really needs us. And we are here also so that we can be able to respect what the old people have done and build something that is strong. Because we need to understand that old and young, it's a great bridge for changing and exchanging knowledge, and that's what we need to look forward to. So I'm more than grateful for what Service Seaters has done for me and everyone, and I hope that we will continue to make a difference. We will not be lackadaisical. We'll put work in terms of making sure that there's difference in this country, and we will no longer cry about unemployment rate going far. Because today it really depicts that unemployment rate that we're speaking about, but now it's in physical form. And I believe that our people in boardrooms, people that are able to make a difference, they can see that young people really want to work and make a difference. So I'm more than grateful. Thanks for this opportunity.
Powerful message. Thank you so much, Bokamoso. Thank you so much. One of the tragedies in our country today is that when young people benefit, or when people benefit from government, they keep quiet. And then the predominant voices become of only those who are not benefiting. And then when that happens, the narrative that gets projected out there is as if government is not doing anything. So can I call on all these learners, all our interns here today, to make sure that you follow the social media pages. At least I'm speaking to people who are active on social media. Can you please follow the social media pages of Northwest Office of the Premier, Services Seta, the Department of Higher Education and Training, and comment on those social media platforms. Make your comments there about the benefit that you are deriving here from government today. That will be greatly appreciated if you can do that. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage the MEC for Agriculture and Rural Development, who is standing in for the Northwest Premier, Re Madoda Sambat. Aramwa Mogeleng batsadi.
Thank you very much, Rezitsamu. If you don't know, I was trying to avoid coming here today at all costs, but I was later forced to finally come. And the reason I was avoiding, I was not sure if I'm going to be able to stand Ngozufako in front of Services Seta on the basis that this one Seta that I was part of the responsibility to revive when it was taken down by administration. We revived it to this level, administrator, you are doing. Another board took it down. That's why you are here as an administration. And because there's Black Management Forum, it's on the basis that that which is color does not determine success or failure. Brian is arguing that when you do well, there's nobody who's praising you. And he's concerned on that. He should not be concerned. He must read the Communist Manifesto. Karl Marx says dominant views in any society are those of the ruling class. It is not because you are not doing well, that people do not recognize that. But those that are opposed to you determine how you are viewed. I was waiting for the minister to arrive. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Minister Buti Manamela. And let me also acknowledge the availability of the mayor of Tswaying. I've seen her, and other mayors that I've not seen, but also of the mayor of MAHIKENG local municipality, who is here, Executive Mayor Tsepiso Mpetlo, and acknowledge the executive management of the services Seta and those that are responsible for the Seta, especially the administrator, Ndate Chairperson, who did make a presentation here, Lihlohonolo Masuha, and the acting CEO leading the management side. I must also acknowledge organized formations that have made messages of support. Ke dumedise Kgosi Kgolo, Kgosi Jeff Muntsiwa wa Barolong bo Ratshidi. And speaking not as an MEC of agriculture, but on behalf of the Premier, I must also recognize the availability of the HODs who are here, especially the HOD of agriculture, because I saw her, and recognize the national chairperson of the agricultural colleges of South Africa, Dr. Mabe, who's the principal of the Northwest Agricultural Colleges available here. On behalf of MINMEC, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, I must also publicly appreciate the intervention you have done in the past weeks by intervening on a crisis that was bedeviling the agricultural college students on an issue of inability to get access to NSFAS, and therefore not having monies to pay for their tuition and registration. And thus your intervention through NSF is highly appreciated, that in the country as a whole, an almost collapse for 6 months of students of agricultural colleges who did not know where they will get money to buy food for 6 months, and when they were going to get money to buy toiletry for 6 months. And with your intervention, I must appreciate, on behalf of MECs of agriculture and the national minister throughout the country, thank you very much for intervention. Now, students of agricultural colleges, their frustration has been resolved. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Our National Democratic Project is confronted with an unemployment crisis affecting largely the young people. Remember that thing that State SA normally does of need the growing number of unemployed amongst young people that are not in the institutions of higher learning and not in training and not in employment. The voices of young people ring hollow in the country's democratic breakthrough, with the hundreds of them confronted with insurmountable challenges of poverty and unemployment. Many young people are locked outside of economic opportunities that can better their lives. Over 3 million people, young people in our country are not in employment, education, or training, with young women at the receiving end of this economic conundrum. Our province continues to experience the most localized joblessness and economic inactivity, despite its immense mineral wealth. I normally explain that having mineral wealth is not the trophy. How mining is done becomes the trophy. Because you can have mineral wealth as long as you don't do two things. You do not include mineral beneficiation, and you do not invest in two sectors, agriculture and manufacturing. You will forever cry for mining not contributing in your own internal job creation, because mining by its nature, it's scavengers. It is a sector that does not work on the downstream economies deliberate on its own, except when that is forced upon it. This situation is further exacerbated by education outcomes that often fail to supply the practical, foundational, and technical competencies demanded by employers. This includes lack of experience and economic growth, and a sluggish economy which prevents new graduates from entering the job market. That's why the element of the internship, and all graduates who are going to be beneficiaries of the 20,000 must take this opportunity with very appreciative hands and be prepared to contribute. No graduate in the 20,000 must drop out because of being drunk. Raudwan, we cannot tell you not to buy liquor, but surely we can't be investing in your future. Kanti Luna, you are co-investing in the disruption of your future. Program Director, we are gathered today to mark yet another important milestone in our which continues endeavors to tackle youth unemployment through meaningful skills development and workplace learning. As the Northwest Province, we are indeed privileged and honored to host the national launch of this program, which is designed to provide structured workplace experience for graduates across South Africa. This demonstrates the province's ongoing commitment to create opportunities that can equip young people with practical experience and improve their employability. This initiative correlates with the Premier's flagship program, which places youth development, skills acquisition, and economic participation at the center of our provincial growth and development strategy. Through the PGTS, we are expanding access to workplace learning opportunities by preparing young people for participation in the modern economy through the creation of sustainable pathways. Program Director, as the provincial government, we will continue to prioritize youth empowerment through strategic investment in education, skills development, and employment creation. These priorities complement the Premier's vision of empowering young people through targeted intervention, through improvement of livelihoods and stimulation of local economic development. Therefore, today's launch sends a powerful message to the youth of the Northwest Province and the youth of South Africa, because this is a ministerial launch of the 20,000, not for Northwest, but 20,000 for South Africa as a whole, which Northwest will get its aggregate number, and that will ensure that qualifying and beneficiaries that should be there should be adopted in the program. We must appreciate the intervention by the services seat. With this, Minister, I can also say, because I know capacity in services seat when it's used for greatest purpose of the seat, and when it's not used for turning sitters into entrepreneurial access institutions, because that's what makes sitters collapse. When people only see in a sitter a tender and do not see a development opportunity that is going to give them access to money, it's first a development opportunity. See how you can contribute to develop young people and unemployed people of South Africa, including those that are employed, before you see a tender. That's what collapses Setas. Training institutions see money and not training and development opportunities which Setas are meant for. And at that collusion between those training institutions and institutional capacity internally, that's where Setas collapse. A request that we'll do to you, Minister, is that imagine if it were to be a target of each Seta, this 20,000, and the numbers will only differ by capacity because Setas are not the same capacity of money they have in the budget. This used to be the biggest Seta until it was captured, and I see that it is going back to where it used to be. It's only services Seta that has capacity to even enroll more than 100,000 learners in a program each year, but only when it is led and is being directed now. I don't want to praise you, but I must praise you because I'm happy. I'm happy that people of my age are involved in turning around a Seta for excellency, both in administrations, Busiso and Bly, and both in the ministry, and the administrator and the minister are now responsible of turning around a Seta that was collapsed by elders, irrespective of their color. That's what would almost have happened. That's why I did not want to come here, because I have too much attachment to services Seta, like representing a premier. The request that we will place again, Honorable Administrator, Mr. Administrator and the premier, Minister, is that please conceptualize a program that must just make us focus between celebrating matric results and admission in institutions of higher learning. Here's the reality. As matriculants are writing, all of us know that the number of matric students registered before writing, it's exorbitantly higher than the spaces available in institutions of higher learning, even before they pass. Each year, the number of matric students who passes, it's still exorbitantly higher than the number of spaces available in institutions of higher learning. Here is a proposal. Because Setas are responsible, they are skills revolution entities, we should conceptualize another 20,000 similar to this one, but meant to capture those that would have not got spaces in institutions of higher learning, so that they are kept up in skills programs. With success, they may not then go back to line training in institutions of higher learning, but be prepared to go back and enter the workplace, especially at a time when there's a gap between skills we produce and those that are needed by the employment fraternity. On behalf of the provincial government and on behalf of the Premier and Lazarus Mukhotsi, we are appreciating that the national program is launched in our province. It also shows how national is prepared to work with the provincial government to intervene in the challenge we have of being the provincial headquarters of South Africa on unemployment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the standing premier, Ntate Madoda Sambata. As you were making that proposal, I was looking at both the minister and the administrator. It looks like, no, it will be approved. It looks like it will be approved. All right, no, thank you very much, Ntate Sambata. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to check for the last time. Is NAC2 still not here? Ha ke batle gore nne gore ke ba ga ke ba fa tšhono. Ga eo ga kere. Ke a feta. Okay. Eteng. All right. Okay. No, let's then welcome the representative from NAC2, Ntate Sipondlofu. Let's welcome him, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Abshe Minjani Dumelang bagolo. I apologize for this late coming due to some unforeseen circumstances on the road. Thank you, Program Director. And please allow me to salute the Minister, the Honorable Minister in the Department of Higher Education, Ntate Buti Manamela, the representative of the Premier, Ntate Sombata, as the MEC of Agriculture. Ke dira phoso ke sa dumedise menaga Kgosi Montshiwa, the Accounting Authority and Administrator of the Services Seta, Ntate Masoga, the acting CEO, Ntate Dladla, le botlhe ba bokaneng fa gompieno. The current state of affairs in our country, with reference to challenges faced by the youth in this sense, especially young graduates who remain in the periphery of the economy, has been haunting us for some time. However, we are geared towards addressing this matter structurally in partnership with both government and the private sector, at which the public is put at the center of this program. Public-private partnership in action is playing itself today, out in the open, not only to be seen, but to be enjoyed by those who will soon be beneficiaries of this particular project. Through efforts of government under the auspices of the Services Seta, to change and improve the lives of graduates who require experience, exposure, as the project seeks to ensure that excellence and shared of information to foster mentorship and strengthen learning outcomes. I think we can all agree that the Power of X program itself seeks to address one problem that the President has spoken about, I think, since 2018. That relates to the high unemployment rate of young people in the country. And this program seeks to address that particular problem. One speaks on behalf of labor, yes. However, as a chairperson of one of the chambers, I also speak on behalf of chamber chairperson at the Services Seta. Our contribution is to ensure that the gap between learning and employment can be addressed through stakeholder engagement. And I think one of the reasons that we are calling upon is that we want to invite all employers in the country to look internally into themselves and say what contribution can they make to ensure that we address this scourge of unemployment in the country. We can lose everything and we can recover such. However, we can never lose hope to better the lives of our people and even especially young workers through opportunities, hence through a vigorous engagement such as a project like this one, which has been born today. We can positively contribute to the national imperatives to address unemployment with spin-offs towards addressing the scourge of poverty. It is a clear indication that in as much as 20,000 young people or graduates will be given an opportunity, This in itself will equally address the challenges that are faced by quite a number of families. But one other issue that we would want to raise on behalf of Labour is that there's always been a sense that once interns are brought into the workplace, they are subjected to be T-boys and T-girls. That's one. Two, they run around doing photocopies. It is therefore our request that it should not be like that, because the intention is to ensure that we skill them, we upskill them, and we ensure that we prepare them. Others to be entrepreneurs, whilst others will be able to be assumed in employment, either in government or in the private sector. And we hope that we will work together, both labor, government, and business, to ensure that we address and nurture this program for the good of the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, in observance of protocol MEC Madoda Sambata, I'm going to invite you as the standing premier to come to the stage and introduce the next speaker who is going to render a keynote address. And when you are done doing that, we will then allow the poet to come before the next speaker. Thank you. Okay, we are noting what you are saying. However, I will need to be advised whether there are host employers or there is a rep that is ready at this stage from the host employers to perform that function. I will really need to be advised, and I'm just getting concerned that your input comes at a time when we are dealing with a very sensitive matter here. But can I be advised, is there a representative at this stage that is ready to make an input from the host employers? Are you from the host employers? Okay, come, sir. Let's welcome the host employer. Welcome.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Dumelang bagaetsho. E ntshwareleng ha ke motho o sena maitseo yana gale le gale. Ke irwa fela ke gore ke go tshesega. Yeah, nna ke deala ka di internship, and I've been doing that for more than 10 years. And go na le many challenges tse re kopanang le tsone. Ke batla go bua specifically ka services Seta. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm not trying to expose anybody. This issue ya power of X, power of X squared, ha ke simolle go e bona. E ntse e le teng mo mafaratlhatlheng, especially a yone services Seta. Now, the problem is, when you, as a host employer, you are requested to apply or bontshe your interest to place learners. Like we are mo company yaga, every year replace more than 150 interns every year, consistently. It can go even up to 200 Every single year, it has been happening for many years. So, ki bua ka so se ke se tlhaloganya. Le services Seta, I have interacted with it through other colleges, through other stakeholders. Mar mathata a re kopanang le one a mangwe. Gone ano go na le website ya Power of X squared. You go in there, you send your documents tse di listilweng, ga o kry any answer. You call the Seta, di number tsotlhe tse di mo websiteng ya Seta ke di founetse tsotlhe. It's only once mo e leng gore ke ile ka kry-a answer. Answer ya teng le gone e ne e le gore motho wa teng o transferala somewhere, kwa transferalang ko teng ga gona ope. So I'm saying you are coming with a very good initiative. E leng gore e ka benefita batho ba bantsi. But please have systems in place. Se di tla etsang gore that initiative is successful. Because now, if ha gona ope o e leng gore no o ka bua le ene ko di officing o ka go fang di answers, you end up not being able to take forward your intention as an employer to place learners. There are many learners out there, ba tlhokang di opportunities tseo. But because now somebody is just not doing what they are supposed to be doing somewhere, then re nna le mathata ao a e leng gore no ba feleletsa ba sa placeiwa. From January ke ntse ke leka go tsena ya Power X squared. Yeah. Mare ke sa kgone. And then the other thing, money in time. Se le gore re tshwanetse re fitisetse go di learners. Ke tsone tseo bagae. It's a good initiative. But ka re etse sure gore no e tsamaya sentle, e tsamaisiwa sentle. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. No. Re go utlwile ntate. All right. He was raising legitimate issues that require the attention of the authorities, and all the issues that he has raised, they will be attended to. Okay? Thank you very much, sir. At this stage, I'm now going to invite the MEC to do the honors. Over to you, MEC.
Dumela, host employer. You are a protesting host employer on behalf of those that are protesting. But address your issues with the management of services, before you leave, so that the matters are attended to and they are not used as a basis to attack the program. Thank you very much. Yeah. So let me take this opportunity to indicate that this is the program by the Minister of Department of Higher Education and Training, who, by the way, is one of the longest deputy ministers. But the advantage is that he was not a deputy minister elsewhere. He was a deputy minister of higher education. So if you were to combine the period of being deputy minister of higher education and these few months of being the minister, he's one of the longest serving ministers in the national cabinet. And the advantage is that is one of the representatives who knows exactly the gap between getting a qualification and practical training that leads you to employment opportunities by his qualification. He's not part of those who are Hlaudists. Agreed, Hlaudism is any process of rejecting recognized higher qualifications. That's called Hlaudism. So it's not part of those. He's not just a minister of education without going to school. I agree, many a times people say, we don't go to school. But beside that, he's an activist. Former COSAS and former SASCO and former YCL National Secretary, by the way. I won't say that in public. But now the public, I won't say component is that he's one of those who left the Young Communist League while still young by age. He did not leave. I agree, this problem of youth structures, of people getting in at 33. They know the term is 4 years. When they exit, they're 37, 38. They should have exited at 35. So it's not part of those. And the person we are looking for is the national minister of, is the minister, not a national minister, because a minister is national unless you are in Western Cape, because only in Western Cape where ministers are provincial, but in the national government, ministers are national, is the Minister of Higher Education and Training, Minister Honorable Buti Manamela. Let's welcome the minister.
Good afternoon.
Bamala o sibilo batariana mani dikeketi manamane tsa tholo bana bo tshidi bana bo tau bana bo tawana bana bo mokgopa bo mabudi bo morara bo noto bo morolo lo se ka lwa nte ba thata lwa nkele ka ke ne ke re lo ntetleng ke lo dumedise le fa ke lo lo ga ba fela jaaka se ako sa mabele a mantse kane a jelwe ke thaga go sitalla one marupantshe se gaolane sentswa se le gona motho wa ga Manamela motho wa ga Kwarebe ke ne ke re ke go tlotle ke go alele phate namane tsa tholo ba rolong batho ba ga tshidi ba rile ba re ke go alele phate ke boke wena ke se ka ba ka kgosi ke a bo ke tla go naya metsi phorogotlo se ithata ka madiba metsi sa parabolele mane le gota itella madiba a matala Lesotho kwena sebele a ko thobuele hela bodibeng o bo o tswa o bo o latlhela bofofu nageng le merakeng o lebelele bana ba gago ka leitlho le le ntšhotšhonono ba o kileng bomme ba sebele ba maloba ba ba naya mekgatho ya bona ya seka ya tshologela mo isho ya re ga ba putsa mekgatho go bomma bone ba tshwana le ntswanyana e ja le sapotlhageng e sekeledi ya khutsafalo e sekeledi ya kutlo botlhoko e lekeledi ya lerato le boitumelo ha mekgatho ya lebele la ga mme bomme ba dikwakwarebe e tsenelela ka ditsikara tsa bone tsa mmele ba re thuto boswa bo se atleng ba fe lesedi ra rona o se ka wa tshaba sepe ke ne ke re o ntetle ra rona ke soleletse le ntswe la me kwa godimo ko le rata dimeng la le godimo kwa go leng gona bongwedi le bommantšhotšhonono na le ditse ditona tsa lobopo bommanaka le bo seroga babele bo kgoga masego le bo seroba tsa bana ke di impangela emnyama phezulu mebala ya yo e bona e tlhele phansi o gape phate ra rona o se ka wa tshaba sepe o ba fe thuto o ba fe thibololo o ba fe ditirelo ba re ngwana sejo wa tlhakanelwa ngwana ga se thupa ya moretologa ngwana ko moki ya letsopa o a botswa maloba jale ha tshele santse le tobetsega batsadi ba ikgantsha ba re ngwana ke sejo se se tlhakanelwang ngwana ke sejo se se sa tingwaneng ba fe thuto rra rona ra le godimo a gore re ise molemo o sa peleng ba go tseye fela ka motlhala ba tla digama ba sa ditlhapela gata phate rra rona metsi phorogotlo se ithata ka madiba metsi sa parabole.
Ke a leboga motshwara marapo ke leboge hape le baetapele ba province MEC who's here on behalf of the mayor and also administrator of services Seta. I mean, on behalf of the Premier, yes. On behalf of the Premier, yes, and also the representatives from the local municipality, the mayor, and but more importantly, Bamushate, Khosi, Monsiwa, Rialeboha, for Manswe, Auri Fileng Wona, li history ya MAHIKENG ya mo hae mo le history ya batho ba mo MAHIKENG le batho ba mo Northwest le mo re tswang teng le gore sa rona ke go tswela pele ke go lebella pele ke go lebella bokamoso ke ka mo re le mo letsatsing la gompieno ke dumedise gape le baemedi ba tsa di-union ntate Sipho Ndlovu o na buella NACTU le ba bang ba e leng gore ba teng ba etapele, but more importantly ke dumedise baithuti di-graduates whom we are here because of ba e leng gore they will be taking part mo program e ya the power of X squared. Re leboge gape le our poets for the good words and the well wishes. We hope that we will meet your expectation. But good afternoon, and thank you very much for being part of this, which is the launch under the theme Experienced, Multiplied, Impact Magnified, from learning to earning, or from learners to earners. And those are good words, but the test for us begins after today. So what do we do after today? And it's a simple test. Does this program take a young person who has completed a qualification, place them in real work under proper supervision, and move them into employment or enterprise? So everything else we say this afternoon is secondary to that question. So we're just today announcing that this is what we're going to do and getting to mobilize young people to be part of this program. But importantly, the truest test of this program will be at the end. And the end does not necessarily mean the completion of the 24 months. The end means even during this program, one can get employment, full-time employment, or pursue an entrepreneurship. And it's not a pipe dream, it is possible. We've seen it happen, and that's what we want to achieve with this internship, learnerships, and all of those. I mean, especially internships should not be seen as permanent placements, but as a way to prepare learners for future employment. Our country has opened the doors of education and training. More young people enter universities and TVET colleges, more receive financial support, and more complete qualifications and apprenticeship. So it's also a crisis of success We're succeeding in producing more graduates, but we're failing in ensuring that the economy absorbs those graduates into the economy. And so that's why we're taking it upon ourselves, working together with the services Seta in this regard, and many other Setas yesterday were in Cape Town with the construction Seta. It's administrator after administrator, Mr. Masuha. But access to education is not access to work. A young person can complete a qualification and then spend years being told they lack experience. And this is what we are trying to solve. Without anyone explaining how experience is acquired, if no employer provides the first opportunity, that is the wall we're here to break down. And that gentleman was raising their hand there and saying he wants to speak on behalf of host employers. I hope he was also going to commit in terms of the number of places that he's going to undertake. And I know it's something he will take up privately. He doesn't like boasting in public. He'll take it up with the administrator. Because that's the type of employers that we need. Not those who just see this as yet another tender, but who are going to open up their doors, who are going to place learners, and who are going to ensure that those learners complete their internship, and not just complete, but they're also absorbed into employment. Statistics South Africa says that approximately 21 million young people between the ages of 15 and 34 are in our country. So we have 21 million young people in our country. In the first quarter of this year, only 5.6 million of them were employed. So out of 21 million young people, only 5.6 million of these were employed. 4.7 million were unemployed, and a further 10.6 million were outside the labor force altogether. These are idle hands. 19 million in total young people were idle hands, and that needs immediate deployment. The unemployment rate was 60.9% amongst those aged 15 to 24, and 40.6% among those aged 25 to 34, which means 4 out of every 10 young South Africans in the age band were not in employment, education, and training. So the scale cannot be answered by conferences and databases and so on and so forth. We need action, and these are the type of initiatives that we'll be encouraging each and every Seta to attend to. Services Seta has set aside 2.9 billion. I said to the media just above 2 billion. I need to go and correct this. It's close to 3 billion which is being invested to place 20,000 university and TVET college graduates into structured workplace-based learning for 24 months. Mr. Masuha, most of this 2.9 billion should not end in the pockets of service providers, but it should end in the pockets of the learners through stipends. It should end in the pockets of host employers through the support that they need. It should end in supporting mentorship. It should end in preparing these graduates for future work employment, for future work preparedness. Because in many instances, when we get to the bone of what are we essentially trying to do, we're talking 3,000 employers who need to be incentivized to be part of this. We're talking 1,000 placement-ready graduates per province, both in public and private sector, working together with the premiers and staff. And so this 2.9 billion has to be for that purpose. Yes, we know that whoever is helping us run this machinery need themselves to make sure that they are a proper entity that ends and so on and so forth. But every rand and cent, most of it has to go into the pocket of learners so that they're able to commute, so that they're able to sustainably participate and stay on until the completion of this of this internship. And so what we must also say is that this is not a once-off event here. It's a national employer mobilization campaign. The administrator was telling me that of the 20,000 available opportunities, already more than 40,000 young people have expressed interest. And I'm sure that interest will grow once the work moves outside of digital platform. Bo kgosi ne ba botsa hore le recruiter bjang le ska recruiter fela mo di computing le mo di laptop. Kgosi ba ye door to door, just like they do during elections. They must go door to door to get this this intense. Now, a temporary employment placement is not automatically a permanent job, and I think we must emphasize this. And we should not even deceive those who are going to participate in this. But neither can this become a revolving door in which young people are cycled through programs while employers replace them with the next publicly funded cohort. We're looking into systems to make sure that people don't double or triple dip. Some people's preoccupation is recruiting young people into internships and keeping them into internships for as long as it benefits them. So we want to ensure that we put in place systems that will get these learners to move and transit from an internship into employment. And so employers must treat, I agree with you, Sipo, that these graduates, employers must treat them as part of their talent pipeline and must provide meaningful work and not leave them to make tea or photocopy documents or just sit unsupervised. Yes, you can make tea. Yes, you can make photocopies, and so on and so forth. But importantly, all of those must be linked to what you ultimately have to do when you are properly employed in the office. It must also speak to the renewal of our TVET colleges, meaning that it has to also be linked to the occupational trades. 29,000 young people are reported to have graduated from our TVET colleges and are looking for these opportunities. And I want to call upon them, Bako Taletso, Vuselela, Orbit, all those who completed their N6 and they're looking for experiential training, their portfolio of evidence, work integrated learning, so that you get your diploma. This is the opportunity you have been looking for. Now, this is not just the administrator and the acting CEO and everybody in the services Seta being brilliant and being this genius that they decided to come up with this. This falls within the president's call for a skills revolution. And for us, that cannot remain a slogan. This is bringing that call by the president into action. It means education and training connected directly to the work that must be done to build this country, the digital economy, services, finance and logistics, and equally the artisans, apprentices, and technicians in the occupational trade. Not every young person must work behind a laptop. South Africa needs plumbers, we need electricians, we need welders, mechanics, technicians. No skill is lower class if it builds the economy and allows a young person to earn an honest living. Get a trade, complete an apprenticeship, obtain your red seal, be able to point at something and say, I built that and I made that. And automation and artificial intelligence will change a great deal. But this country will still need people to build homes, to install energy system, to maintain water infrastructure. And so the skills revolution must value the hand, the mind, and the machine. Gone should be those days when we celebrate people as successful only because where they work, they have a big corner office, they have a tie, they have a suit, they have a laptop. We need to be proud and take pride of those who work the land, take pride of those who wear the boots, of those who make the food that we enjoy, those who built our homes, those who built the roads. Nobody else is going to build these for us as South Africans, and we need the skills to become bricklayers, to become tilers, to become all of the things that will be required to build a better country. And I want to encourage all of us not to pursue skills merely because they make me look nice on Instagram or Facebook, but to pursue skills because not only are they about self-development and personal development, but they're also about the development of this country. Now, with regards to specifically this program, we see it obviously as part of a broader program that we've been working on nationally, and our preliminary work has shown that we have a potential of rolling out more than 100,000 of these, specifically related to work integrated learning, a little bit more as it relates to internships, even more as it relates to learnerships, artisans, and so on and so forth. So this project contributes into the national picture. And throughout the month and into the next 3 months or so, we'll be doing quite a lot of work to ensure that we inform the country about the progress that we're doing in bringing the skills revolution into action, with this being part of those. I'm asking the services Seta to establish a discipline as it relates to this program. We need to ensure that we have proper list of employers, okay? Credible list of employers who are competent, who are able to transfer the skill to the young people. We need to make sure that there are mentors that are there. We need to make sure that every student who participate in this program themselves have some form of portfolio of evidence to show that they've been part of this program and that they've accumulated knowledge and experience. But importantly, the discipline of employers in ensuring that they abide to this. And probably a call specifically to employers that we want you to open your workplaces. We want you to treat workplaces as places of learning, as places of acquiring experience. We're moving with speed in rolling out our occupational trades and the dual system, and that when they change, it's a sign that I've been speaking for long, Emma Dot. And with you, they changed about 4 times. So I'm on my second one. Okay. I'll wrap up. But the point is that we need you to open up your doors as employers in order to host learners. You need to participate in the training of learners. You need to participate in the production of the skill and talent that you need for the success of your businesses and for the success of your country. And more so, yes, in addition, we need you to co-invest, but more so, that in instances such as this, the state is committing to support this placement with a stipend for each of the learners. So we really want to take this opportunity to call on employers to avail themselves and to open up their employment opportunities, to place learners, and to make sure that our graduates are prepared and exposed to workplaces and gain the experience that they require. And obviously to the graduates, I hope you'll arrive prepared. And if what you're being asked to do is not what is expected of you, then that's something else. But importantly, you will have to give yourself into this program. You'll have to ensure that it becomes a learning process. That you also don't see yourself as just being there in this services Seta program just to while away time, okay? So it's an important investment in your own self, an opportunity that would open up, the doors for jobs. And even if it doesn't, at its completion, 24 months after, you should be able to say from September, October, or whenever you started up to 2027, 2028, these are the things that I've learned through this program, and this is how they are contributing to my skill set, and this is how they are enabling me to either go and look for a job somewhere else or to even start my own business. So you shouldn't just go there and say, this is an internship. When they say come at 8, you arrive like Sipo and say, no, there were some problems on the road. They said 8, not 10, okay? But also if you're given work to do, and that's in line with what you went to train for, or which gives you an opportunity to open up, to pursue something else, let's do that. We had a chat yesterday with the people at the V&A waterfront, and they were saying that the additional training that they provide to our students who come from universities, colleges, and so on, it's nothing magical. It's about getting to work on time. It's about being presentable. It's about understanding what is expected of you in the job that you're supposed to do. That confidence. It's all of those, they call them soft skills. It's all of those skills that are required for you to have an attitude in terms of the discipline that you've already taken up. So it's not about, I've went to university, I'm a qualified lawyer, and all I want to do now is to go and argue a case in court. No. It's about starting at the base. Yes, when you watch TV, Instagram, Facebook, Mukai, Toby, and them, they can, deceive you. You can think that it's easy, moving from a university hall or from a TVET college lecture hall into a courtroom or into a workplace where you must do whatever you're expected to do, that it may actually be easy. It's actually not. And I think that attitude, that approach that we need to assume, to treat this as if it's the real work, that you're actually already working, so that whoever is taking you as an employer, hosting you as an employer, should also think twice at the end of this program about whether they should leave you or not. So today, I was told I must say this. We officially launched to the Power X Squared as a national call to employers and as part of the skills revolution for a working South Africa. The funding has been set aside, so it's not a pipe dream. We're not saying we're going to do this. It's already in action. The target is clear. The graduates are ready and actually oversubscribed. And so we're hoping that the workplaces will add more of the workplaces amongst those who've already subscribed. And let's have a successful project that deploys internships into our workplaces and ultimately get them guaranteed employment at the end of the journey. Thank you very much for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue clapping for the minister in appreciation. Thank you very much, Minister, for that powerful speech. Thank you so much. With the address of the minister, we were at the pinnacle of the event, and we are now drawing to a close. I'm going to invite to the stage to give us a vote of thanks the Executive Mayor of Mahikeng Local Municipality, Councillor Mphehlo. And when the executive mayor is done, we'll invite the leadership for a group photo. Let's welcome the executive mayor of the host town.
Okay. Thank you, Program Director. I think I'll just be short as my height. Well, another thing, I think we need to correct something, Program Director, on the programs. Get the executive mayor, not Kosi Monsiwa. So we had to do some changes there. Program Director. But let me take this opportunity to greet His Majesty Kosi Kgolo Jeffrey Kotle Monsiwa wa Barolombora Tshidi, the Honorable Minister of Higher Education and Science and Technology, Ntate Buti Manamela, the Honorable MEC Madoda Sambata, standing in for the Honorable Premier of the Northwest Province, Premier Lazarus Mokhosi, not acting Premier, MEC, standing in for the Premier, the Honorable Mayor of Tswaying Local Municipality, Councillor Nora Mahlangu, Service Seta Administrator, Ntate Letlogonolo Masoga. Well, I'm not going to greet you with your former friend. I don't know if you're still friends. I said, how do medicine? I know you. You know me because of my friend. And I won't expose which friend were you talking about. The NAG2 rep, Ntate Sipho Ndlovu. The Black Management Forum rep, Ntate Solomon Moripe. But not Masterpieces Moripe, but Solomon Moripe. Graduates and beneficiaries, members of the Fourth Estate, like one of the beneficiaries said, in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, amen. I'm humbled to stand before you to deliver this vote of thanks. As this wonderful event is coming to a close, it is my absolute privilege to propose a vote of thanks, and first to extend our deepest gratitude to the Minister of Higher Education, Buti Manamela, for sharing such a valuable insight with us today, and particularly for bringing this prestigious event to MAHIKENG. Minister, as you know, the statistics speaks that the Northwest Province accounts to a large number of unemployed graduates or unemployment within the country. And I hope this will not be the last opportunity to help us as the province, particularly including MAHIKENG, to help us reduce the high levels of unemployment rate in the province. Honorable Minister. I wish to thank also the Honorable Premier in absentia, including his dedicated team, and special appreciation to MEC Madoda Sambata, the Provincial Secretary of the Party of Our People, Raleboha PS. I also want to thank the organizers of this beautiful event and the dedicated volunteers who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. A heartfelt thank you goes to the technical support staff as well for keeping everything running smoothly. And I must thank also the translators, or the sign interpreters, or sign language interpreters. Thank you as well. Thank you to the wonderful audience. Your presence and enthusiastic participation on the side over there truly made this event a grand success. This is a great opportunity to every graduate from all the TVETs and universities across the length and breadth of our country. Now, PS, a 17-year-old Karl Marx wrote these famous words in an 1835 school essay called Reflection of a Young Man on a Profession, on the Choice of Profession. He meant that choosing a job or to help all humankind gives people strength and true wide-reaching happiness and a lifetime opportunity which the Honorable Minister Manamela brought to Mahikeng and the entire province of Northwest and the country as a whole. He said, if we have chosen a position in life in which we can most of all work for mankind, no burden can bow us down, because there are sacrifices for the benefit of all, then we shall experience no petty, limited, selfish joy, but our happiness will belong to the millions. Our deeds will live on quietly, but perpetually at work. Seo ke se re se lebogelang on behalf of our people in Mahikeng. Lastly, let me send our appreciation to His Majesty Kgosi Kgolo Montshiwa and wish you well, Morolong. Now, Kgosi Montshiwa will be celebrating his silver jubilee since he was installed as the king of Barolong Boratshedi. Ke ne ke re le wena o re golele Morolong, o dule o ntse o na le rona ka nako tse tsotlhe. Now, ke tla kopa batho botlhe gore on September, Kgosi Montshiwa will be celebrating his jubilee as Kgosi ya Barolong. I think he's the second or third king to reach this milestone. Ke tla le kopa lotlhe gore ba batlang really invite ka September to celebrate the silver jubilee ya Kgosi Montshiwa. Ba ba nang le dikgomo minister ba ka re thusa go donate dikgomo MEC re tle go celebrate this great milestone. Ke ne ke re rotlhe re ka go re golele Morolong re golele. Now, lastly, as you drive back home, drive safe. We have reduced our potholes and we're working on our roads again. Just make sure that when you drive back with your team, make sure that you're going to spend every single cent in your pockets, swipe your cards, fill in your tanks in Mahikeng, buy your clothes, toiletries as you head back home. We'll hoster. Let us make that this event, Minister, becomes a success. Thank you.
Bagaetso re lebogile ke lebogetse tirisano mmogo ya lona ya metiro e felela fa ke tlile go kopa gore tshegofatso a tle kwano o tla tla go tlhalosa dintlha tse di latelang go ba ba maleba re a leboga.
Dumelang batho ba bokone bophirima re Stombo o tsamaya ka bonako yang ra mare ntumedise sentle dumela mongwane a greet ditlhako dia all right, please allow me to greet kgosi ya rona kana ke godisitswe sentle kgosi la sa mpone minister bo ausi ha o dumedisa kgosi o tshwanetse o dire jana o ikobe a ke re ga ke apara sekete ya rona ke tlhaga ko bogosing ha taung ha le MEC ke tshetlhana ya batlhaping ba ga phuduhutswana mogolo kwane o tlolega bathong that's right, yes. All right, natiro wa ke nyane, I'm just going to call the graduates but mo staging. I only need 60 because of limited space, and then ke kopa matona a rona tle gore join once our graduates are on stage. DJ a go bona le gore go na le basha please do the right thing. Oriang le tens why 20,000 minutes are almost 20,000 rand.
Engeleka momsotra, lidi no ha di cobra, babarata di tola, abatome sa boy roba o sa ntsatsa la ke tsubile ngwanyana ke le metsa otherwise wa roba ba sa ba ka nare go posa for wena ka dola.
Okay, guys, we are taking a picture now, so can we please stand properly to be able to take a picture? Can you also have people sitting down here? Then let's make space. Do we have nurses in the house? Hakuna manes. Mapodis, study le go irang kante. Future. All right, communications. Sorry. Okay, may I please call our dignitaries on stage? Let's make a way. Just move forward. Yes. Okay, now we're going to have a countdown from 1 to 20,000. Yes. Can we please roll down the countdown? 1 to 20,000. Okay, here we go. We're still on 0. Long way to go. Oh, there we go. We still have a long way. Now let's put power to the N squared. Everyone say power to the N squared. time, power to the end.
From America to Italy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Can we stand as our dignitaries leave the stage? Thank you so much. We're going to have our executive leave to the media center and then everyone can remain. Thank you very much. Can we please have our executive make their way to the media room? And everyone can remain in the room. Thank you.